Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is day 13 of 30 Days of Happiness. Thank you for following along. If you've been watching every day so far, I appreciate it. Drop a comment below, let me know. And what's been going on? We had a big family day. My son saw both sets of his grandparents today and just hung out. And some takeaways of my happiness journey today specifically have been, I've realized that I'm trusting my own intuition a lot more and just looking outside of myself less. Like when I kind of understood that unconditional happiness was an inside job, I also realized that, my guidance system and what I want to do in life and where I want to go is probably also an inside job. So I just am checking in outside of myself less and less and checking in within myself way more. And just trusting that I know where I want to go and what I want to do and the choices I want to make and the things I want to think about, because I have this kind of emotional guidance system telling me like, yes, no, yes, no. So I feel like that has gotten a lot stronger, and just trusting myself. Some people call it intuition, some people call it going with your gut. But yeah, I just think it's an emotional guidance system of like, this feels good, this doesn't feel good. And while this is being strengthened, it's interesting. Like I find examples of like when I was younger or going through different periods in my life where I'm like, oh, that didn't feel good and I did it anyway. And like, this was the result. Or like, yeah, I just knew this was right and I went with it and this was the result. When I was leaving my first college it just like wasn't a good fit. I'd been there for 2 years and I was ready to go and I wanted to do acting. And I wanted to essentially transfer schools, and I didn't know where I was going to go. And I was like, I just had this feeling, whatever, a message from God or a feeling inside of myself that was just like, wait until this event you have in the summer, which was pretty far along in the summer. So it was probably like a month before schools would start, like colleges. And if you know anything about transferring, like you pretty much should have your application in a little bit earlier. And I was like, I just have this feeling that I should wait and I should, just have my summer and wait until this event, wait until this event, wait until this event. Well, the event finally came and it was an acting and modeling event. And I ended up being picked out of like hundreds of people probably to do a monologue for this woman. She picked me out of a class. Like there were so many classes going on at this event and I just picked one, and she picked me out of this group to do a monologue. I did it. She came up to me afterward and was like, I want you at my school in 2 weeks. And I was like, well, that's perfect. Like I'm looking for a school. So it's so interesting how those things work out. But that was one of those feelings of like, I just knew in my gut, like I knew in my soul that I had to wait until this certain time. And I don't think that's something I can manufacture. It's like interesting. I've been thinking like, what if I really decide something? Then maybe that information shows up too. But that was a really effortless one where I was like, okay, I need to go somewhere else. And I knew I needed to go somewhere else and do something else. And I didn't know what it was, but I knew that the answer would come. And I think that faith allows you to line up with a higher power to get that answer. That's just my personal opinion. When you have that belief and you have that knowing, I think that you do get clarity. And I've noticed myself just like things I want to do that I don't feel totally sure about yet. I'm like, I'm just waiting for clarity. I'm going to get clarity and know I'm going to get clarity. And they just seem to work out. They just seem to, it just reveals itself to me, I feel like, in the perfect time. So that's what I've been learning, is really trusting myself more and not necessarily needing someone else to have had a similar experience or someone else to tell me how to do something to know that what's right for me and my path and where I want to go. And similarly, that emotional guidance system, it's so interesting. I've been feeling around like you would feel around in the dark. Like, oh, this thought, yeah, that feels better. This thought, oh, that feels a little worse. This thought feels a little better. This thought feels a little worse. And just even like where I'm going, like I'm thinking like, oh, could I turn left here? I'm like, does it feel good to turn left here? There's 2 ways to get to a store or 2 ways to get to a location. And I'm like, which one feels like really good? And just like feeling out moment by moment, like where I want to go and what I want to do and what I want to say and what I want to think. And it's amazing. And I also love the nightly reset. So when I go to bed, I try to go to bed in a really good mood, and I try to think of things as I'm falling asleep that make me really happy, or to just really enjoy my bed and the way it feels, or to go over things that I liked in the day and just try to end the day on a positive note. But I also put zero pressure on myself to do that, because if for whatever reason my mood got away from me, or I'm thinking of something else, or I can't think of anything, or I'm tired or whatever, I'm like, this is the reset. Like, bedtime is the reset. I'm gonna go to bed, I'm gonna wake up in a chill place, and then I get to try all over again for the day. So it's like a zero pressure situation, and having taken that pressure off of myself seems to allow me to just be in a better mood throughout the day. Because I also know that if I'm in a bad mood, or if I go somewhere that doesn't feel good, that's not a negative thing. That's just redirecting me back to what I do want, or how I do want to feel. And so I just am enjoying that flow more, and understanding that those emotions and those feelings are more of a guidance and less of a, end of the world thing. I don't know, like, it just, I keep telling myself, like, do your best. And then at the end of the day, like, it's the end of the day, like, go to bed, relax, So I think taking that pressure off myself, and like, yes, it's 30 days of happiness. This is absolutely my focus. And it has, for an overwhelming majority of the time, been super happy, because that has been my focus, and I have been practicing it and prioritizing it. But I also think that not having any pressure on myself to be happy really helps. Like, I talked yesterday about doing the work of Byron Katie. And again, like, I have videos on that on my page. And I've talked to other people about this who, like, they'll do the work for a while and, like, it's not working as well for them, or they want to feel happy and they're like, I should feel happy. And then, like, you question the thought, is it true? And it's like, how do you know you're supposed to be happy in this moment? And then, like, that kind of makes me laugh. It's like, I should be happy. Like, oh, what do I know about, like, the whole path of my life and how it's going to unfold? Like, that I know that this moment should make me happy. Like, I don't know how the pieces fit together. So I'm just way more relaxed about it, which ends up making me happier, I think, in the long run. So those are my musings. Those are my thoughts for day 13. Let me know in the comments below. What should we talk about, guys? You made it to the end of the video. Let me know you made it to the end of the video.